Hello, and welcome to Be Here Now, the Peaceful Empowerment Work Show, where presence can shift perspective to allow peace. We are live on newstreamingnetwork.com, home of goingboldmedia.com, goingsolomedia.com, and WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio. I am your host, Judy Forder, and I am here by myself today. Janice is at a horse show supporting her daughter. So oddly enough, the topic for today's show is saying goodbye to what was and embracing what is. So on Monday, when we found out that Janice had this horse show to go to with her granddaughter, I thought, oh, okay, or daughter, I need to find a guest host for the show. And I heard very clearly from my higher self, my team, that the topic is saying goodbye to what was and embracing what is. What better time for you to say goodbye to your damn near paralyzing fear of doing the show alone and embracing what is. So what is, I'm hoping, is just me proving to myself that should I need to do the show by myself, I can. I don't prefer it, but I can. Therefore, those shows that I need co-hosts for when Janice can't be here, I won't feel desperate and panicked to have someone on the show with me. So here we are for a live in-person lesson on hopefully Judy saying goodbye to what was and embracing what is. So if you're still here after that long introduction, we don't have Janice to ring us in, but I do have my little love whistle. So everybody take a deep breath. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And settle in. Thank you so much for being here, and we're going to roll right into the meme for the week. Excellent. Haha. Meme for the week. No, Silverio. We want this. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. We saw enough big face, Judy. This is perfect. All right. So let's roll on to the next slide, where our meme for the week is we have Sandra Bullock, and forgive me, I don't know who else that is in the meme. It's another actress. And it says, when they ask how you know, the response is, I'm intuitive as fuck, okay? Wait a minute, I was prepared. Here we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. So we're going to find out a lot today about my journey and what I've had to let go of in the past and embrace as what is in order for me to get to where I am today, where I'm sitting here in front of you, being willing to face this fear and move forward. So I thought this was perfect because the only reason I'm here is because I trust my intuition more than anything. And when clients or family, friends, whatever, ask me how I know things, I'm just kind of like, I know things. And in my head, I'm going to be thinking this response from now on. All right, moving forward to good news. Although Janice isn't here, thank you, Janice. See, she's here in spirit. She's supporting from ringside. All right, we're going to roll into your good news story, Janice. So from our traveling friend, Joy-Filled Storytime with Janice. We have a video from Ilona Marr, who is the rugby player from the U.S. women's rugby team. And she's been doing a lot of videos about body image because there has been quite a bit of hate, apparently, thrown her direction. Quite a bit of shade, as the kids say, thrown her direction on social media because of her body and her size. So this is her response.
Second, as you can probably tell, I've been crying a little bit. I always get these comments, but like recently it kind of ramped up. Was I get comments being called a man and being called masculine and asking if I'm on steroids. There will always be negative people out there, and they put women in a box, and they think of women should be fragile and petite and quiet and meek, but that's not the case. Women can be strong, and they can have broad shoulders, and they can take up space, and they can be big. I think I'm getting emotional because I feel very passionate about this. Don't let anybody try to define or dictate how you feel about yourself. You get to decide that. I feel feminine, I am feminine, and I believe that. I want you all to know that even me, probably one of the most confident people around, has problems sometimes. But I'm not gonna let insecure, sad people online dictate who I am, because I know. And they're living a very sad life, and I feel bad for them. Keep shining, keep being you, and remember, your body is perfect. Big, small, tall, short, whatever body you're in, that's the body of a woman.
Yeah. Amen, sister. Amen, sister. I grew up with a mother who was damn near 6 foot tall, and her father was a 13-pound baby. So when we talk about big boned, she was literally big boned. She had huge hands, beautiful hands, but they were huge. And when they whooped your ass, you felt it. But they were huge. And she had the broad shoulders, and she was tall, and they always referred to her as big. And in her mind, that immediately went to fat. So she had a terrible time dealing with self-image. And, back then when she was growing up, family members were just brutal to her. She had an aunt tell her that she was too big to marry my father because my father was very thin. He really resembled Pee Wee Herman. He aged well. He resembled Pee Wee Herman when they got married. But yeah, straight up told her, you're too big to marry him. And just pure insanity and just being cruel for no reason. So thank you for launching this message out to the girls, the women of the world, because I have struggled with body image issues as a result of my mother struggling with them. As I have come to find out in these later years, my siblings have struggled the same, and when I was growing up, they were the skinny ones that could eat everything. So for them to have body image issues blew my mind when I found out about them. So again, Alona Mar, thank you so much for being a voice that all women are beautiful, no matter shape, size, or form. Thank you, Janice, for that beautiful feel-good story. All right, and we're going to move forward to Pathways to Peace. And because we don't have a guest host on the show today, and I'm being challenged to say goodbye to what was and embrace what is, I figured I would be our guest today. So in that spirit, I'm going to give you a little bit of background information about me, but first we're going to do the official bio. My name is Judy Forder. That's me. I am the founder of Powered by Your Soul, LLC. Many people don't realize that I have a business where I do my intuitive counseling, and I am an energy practitioner as well. So here we go, people. I was asked by one of my, former spiritual teachers and mentors. She watches the show, Katie. People have seen her comment, and she reached out to me one day and said, if you don't mind me asking, you promote everyone else so openly and freely, why don't you promote yourself? And I said to her at that time that there will be a time for me to do so. Little did I know it would come so quickly. So here we are. Anyway, all that aside, I use multiple modalities to assist my clients in releasing old, outdated beliefs and emotions that are preventing them from living the life they desire. Through Reiki, angelic light weaving, external alignments, energy healing, and intuitive counseling, I provide my clients with the tools they need to rediscover their joy and find their purpose. And together, we create a stress-free, non-judgmental environment, which allows for healing to begin. This healing can lead to a life with abundance, an abundance of love, joy, laughter, gratitude, financial security, and whatever else your soul desires. When you are willing to do the work, no dream is too big. And it is truly my honor to use my gifts to help you discover yours. So that is powered by your soul, the business in which I work under and do my counseling and see clients. So as for any special guests we have on the show, we always ask a little background information. So I'm asking those very questions of myself. Where was I born and raised? I was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. Do I have any siblings? I do. I have 2 sisters and a brother. I am number 3 in line. And are we close? We are very close. My older sister and I shared a room from the day I got out of the crib. God bless her. And just like any other siblings, we had our issues growing up. But as we got older, we became very, very close. And then my little sister, she's my co-pilot in life. She's my ride or die. When Mom went back to work, it was us. So we learned an awful lot together. And my brother, I was the little brother he never had. So I was able to play football with him and his friends, and he would always let me help him when he worked on his motorcycle. That's why I have a passion for riding today, is because of him. And honestly, after my mother died, we really pulled together and became even closer than what we were. So some favorite memories of my childhood, there's a ton. We used to sit around and listen to comedy records. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, records from back in the day, the vinyls. We would sit and listen to Bill Cosby. We would, and then it's one of those things where you just recite lines. We still do it at family gatherings. That was always a favorite. And family holidays. Christmas was probably my favorite. We would go to my grandmother's, and she had this little house. But, I mean, she'd have 70, 80 people coming in and out of that house throughout the day. And it was just always so cheerful. And I got to see my cousins. So good stuff. Good stuff. We also had a Volkswagen bus that I just loved. You know, we'd pile in, and my dad has a twisted sense of humor, which is why I do as well. And it didn't have heat. So my grandmother made Afghans, and my dad would say, "Turn on the heat." And we'd all put the Afghans on. Just stupid, silly stuff like that, but sticks in my head. You know, could take something where we could bitch and complain about not having any heat and making it something fun. So there is that. And what else? I don't know. I think those are the big ones for now. And then challenges. Anybody who's been watching this show has known I've touched on things from here, here and there. And one of the biggest challenges was being put on a diet in 3rd grade and being told that, there was something wrong with me. My body wasn't right, and I needed to fix it. And I feel like that was very challenging. And everybody in the neighborhood, my siblings all had friends in the neighborhood that were their age, and my age somehow got skipped over. So though I went out and played and all that, I didn't have those close friendships like my siblings did. I got along with everybody, but to have, the BFF was something that, I didn't grow up with, I didn't experience. And I had very close friends, but, they lived on the other side of the busy highway. So I didn't get to see them much unless we were in school or playing sports. So that was challenging, just trying to figure out where I fit in for many reasons. But not, having that connection with somebody that was more along my age. I have to keep reminding myself that I'm old. So as moving forward into college, we always like to share the story where, I was the one that wanted to go away to college. So I didn't go far, 3 hours away near the beach. But when my parents left me and my sister there, it was like, what are you doing? I can't believe you're leaving me here. So that first step of independence was very difficult for me in the first couple of weeks. then I met my friend, who is the godmother to my daughter, to this day, and a best friend of mine, and everything shifted. But that was very challenging for me. And then I went through a period after graduation and working for a couple of years where my mom had gotten sick, and that was hard. And then she died. And then after she died, I say the ass fell out of my life for quite some time. So those were some very, very challenging things. And it wasn't until 2012 that I realized that I was just numb to everything. I was just working to get through the day, and didn't even realize that was happening until I went for my first Reiki session, which I only did because I wanted to see if it could help my sister with chronic illness she was suffering, and thought she wouldn't give it a try if I didn't have some type of experience with it to start. And I went for my first session. I didn't know what had happened in that room, but I knew when I walked out that I needed more. So I did something that I never do, and I scheduled weekly appointments and committed to showing up weekly to see where this went, because I walked out of the room feeling lighter. I didn't know why. I couldn't explain what happened. I just knew I felt lighter, and I felt like there was hope for something better in my life. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't really even understand, but I committed to show up. I committed to show up consistently for myself. And little did I know the impact that decision would have for my life moving forward. So I convinced my energy practitioner to teach me everything she knew. And graciously, she did. And for the next 2 years, I worked individually with her. I took classes. I went to healing circles. I did all kinds of things to get me to the point where I was ready to say goodbye to what was and embrace what is. I feel like this is a perfect place for us to take our little commercial break, if that's okay with you, Severio. All right, we are back, and we are talking about saying goodbye to what was and embracing what is. And I left you on a little cliffhanger after I had opened my mind and my heart to learning what Reiki and energy healing was. I committed to it for 2 years, and in that 2 years, I got certified in Reiki. I tuned in Reiki. I got certified in multiple other modalities, and my life just kept getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And if we could go to the next slide, that'd be great. We're going to talk about the big picture items first. When people look at my life now, and mind you, this healing journey started 12 years ago. In 2012. So, big picture, when people look at my life, they say, wow, she's changed a lot. She let go of a lot. I let go of 24-and-a-half-year teaching career. That was a big one. I said goodbye to a 26-year relationship after being married for 4 years, but in a relationship for 26. I said goodbye to friendships. I said goodbye to mentors. I said goodbye to family members. And I said goodbye to old belief systems and patterns. So those are the big picture items. When people look at my life, they can say, okay, well, she doesn't do these things anymore. She's definitely changed. But little do they know there were little things that had a huge impact that gave me the courage and the strength to let go of the bigger things that people see. And these are the things that people don't necessarily see and they're not aware of. So I needed to get rid of the belief that I had to be perfect. I needed to, the need to be right all the time, because God forbid you be wrong. The need to never fail. The need to fix everything for everyone. Accepting crumbs when I wanted the whole damn pie. Being a people pleaser to earn love and acceptance. The belief that I was damaged and broken. Self-loathing inner dialogue. The belief that I can't be happy if I'm fat. You know, and these were things that I wasn't even aware, because they're running on autopilot. They were beliefs that were instilled in me when I was young. And, you know, the funny thing is my parents never told me I had to be perfect. My parents told me I just had to do the best I could. You know, the desire to be right all the time, that part of me thinks that's because of siblings. You never want to be wrong with your siblings growing up, because then you look stupid and you get made fun of. And never wanting to fail. You know, that really prevented me from trying a lot of new things, because heaven forbid I be bad at it. Being the fixer. Being the fixer is my job, to fix everything for everybody. You know, and what I found now is that was a great distraction to focus on everybody else's issues, so I didn't look at my own. Accepting crumbs when I wanted the whole damn pie. You know, that lack of confidence, that lack of self-esteem made me feel lucky that anybody just wanted to give me some crumbs, instead of allowing me to want everything. Being the people pleaser, yeah, that's all part of feeling broken. You know, if I can do for them, if I can make them happy, then they'll love me. If I can buy them nice things, then they'll accept me and love me. The belief that I was damaged and broken. You know, I didn't know this then, but I know it now. That was a belief that I held because I was put on that diet. Now, it's not the diet that made me feel that way. And it was very interesting, because in the shower prior to the show, it was made very clear to me, because I'm about balance and alignment. You know, my mother said all the right words, just like our friend Inona. You know, that my mother always said, love your body, honor your body, respect your body, be happy with who you are. Don't look at others and feel that you need to look the same. Don't hate your body for what it is. But my mother talked to herself in terms of hating her body, loathing how she looked. So her words didn't align with her actions. And what I took in were her actions. My mother did everything she could so that I didn't suffer the way she suffered. But because of her words, her actions, and her energy not aligning in her own relationship with herself, I took on exactly what she didn't want me to. So I had to let go of that belief. Now, believe it or not, we have another slide with even more goodbyes. Can we get to the next one, Silveria? Perfect. All right. The list of goodbyes continues. I should know how to do everything, and if I don't know, fake it till you make it. My victim mentality after my mother died. It was easier to drink the pain away rather than feel it. Holding others responsible for making me happy. Doing things out of obligation. Putting everyone else's needs and wants before my own. Believing that someone else knows me better than me. And not feeling worthy of love and acceptance for all of the above reasons. You know, we were actually told, I was a physical education teacher, and my senior year in college, we were told, if you're in an interview and they ask you to coach something and you don't know anything about the sport, you lie and say you can. You fake it till you make it. Figure it out. You know, and that right there. And of course, I had heard the term before then, fake it till you make it. I was somebody that always had to be right and know things and be perfect. Of course, I was familiar with that. But to have it told to me, to use it in an interview process, really just solidified that that's how we need to move through this world. If you don't know something, you fake it till you make it. So you lie. The victim mentality after my mother died. You know, my mother died and I was 26. Sometimes I think about it, and my, you know, a cousin that I'm very close to is 10 years older than me. By the time she was 26, she was married and had 3 of her kids. I look at me at 26 and I feel like I was 18. I lost my mother. She had been sick for quite some time. And, you know, it was one of those things where the family kind of, we felt like it blew apart. And this is why the siblings got closer. You know, my reality was, I just lost my mother. My father quickly remarried. And that introduced the abandonment pattern within me. I felt abandoned. I felt orphaned. And so did my siblings. You know, today I can look back at that and I can say, you know, he was doing the best he could with what he had. And I'm grateful for the joy he's experienced in his life. And I've been able to move forward. We've been able to come to a place of peace. But it wasn't until I started doing this self-exploration and discovery that I could get to that point. Holding others, yeah, it's easier to drink the pain away rather than feel it. When I talk about being numb, that's how I numbed myself. That's how I numbed myself until I had my daughter. And it was really having my daughter. You know, I had the house, I had the marriage, I had the relationship at that point. I had the beautiful child that I never thought I could ever have. And I still wasn't able to feel. I wasn't able to feel happy. I wasn't able to feel sad. I was just numb. So in that, holding others responsible for making me happy, I'm feeling numb and then lash out because nobody else in the world can make me happy. I had to say goodbye to that. Putting everyone else's needs and wants before my own. You know, we are raised in a society and taught to believe, especially women, that we put everybody else before us. We are last on the list because it is our job to care for and nurture everybody else. And I'm not saying that it isn't our job to care for and nurture everybody else, but sitting here today, I have a clear understanding that I have to take care of myself so that I can be present to help support and guide everyone else. Believing that someone else knows me better than me. This has been a huge lesson, and this continues. I continue to learn this because there are still times on the spiritual path. Oh my gosh, that guru, how do they know so much? How do they this? How do they that? I should know as much as they know. You know, I still fall into those patterns sometimes, and I still look to others to shine more light on me because it's a process. This intuition thing is a process for me. I don't question my intuition and guidance that I get for any of my clients, any of my friends, any of my family. But when it comes to me, it's like, wait, what? So that's something that I'm constantly working on and reminding myself, nobody knows me better than me. Not feeling worthy of love and acceptance. And I know I'm not the only one that has felt that they were not lovable and they were difficult to accept. So little did I know in 2012 that one session was going to launch me onto this healing path for the rest of my life. So those are all the things I had to say goodbye to. And in the process of saying goodbye to those things, I learned to embrace what is and accept what is. And this is what I have been able to embrace and accept to this point. I am God individualized, and God loves to be me. That is a saying I have used over and over and over again, countless number of times. I have been down on my knees, crying, sobbing, and just repeating that over and over and over again, reminding myself, I am here to love and be loved. I am responsible for my own happiness. No one else can do that, only me. I am my own superhero. All those things that we just talked about, I had to go and say goodbye to. My little girl was holding on to those things. She wasn't feeling safe. She wasn't feeling loved. She wasn't feeling accepted because of my relationship with her. So the adult me I go back all the time. When she flares, when those feelings come up, I am the one that can comfort her. I am the one that can love her. I am the one that accepts her. I am her superhero. Grace is the key to forgiveness and peace. When I look back on all of the things that I've done, everybody likes to say I've done things I'm not proud of. Well, yes, I was there too. And it's about giving ourselves grace. We aren't here today without the people that we were back then. Those survival techniques that we acquired, bad patterns, unhealthy patterns, as we call them, got us to this point. And they're called survival techniques for a reason. We adopted them because we used them to survive through what we were going through. So to be able to look back on that person and give that person grace, if we can give it to ourselves and forgive ourselves, create that peace within ourselves, then we can give it like Oprah handing out cars. We can hand it out to others as well. My internal dialogue, how I speak to myself, has a direct impact on how much love, joy, and happiness I allow into my life. I was sitting in a healing circle, and Katie looked at me and said, do you realize you loathe yourself? And I knew that I had trouble. There were parts of me that I didn't like. Actually, the majority, I have nice eyes and good hair. But other than that, everything else was gain. And loathing, I was like, whew, that's a very heavy word. And she said, yes, but that's how you feel about yourself. And it was through that exploration and shifting my inner dialogue that I started to realize how impactful my internal dialogue was to my ability to accept love, joy, and happiness in my life. I know nothing, and I am excited to explore and experiment as I learn. Yeah. The more I read, the more I experience, the more experiences I have with the work I do with my clients, I realize I don't know shit. But I am very excited to explore and experiment as I learn new things. That pressure of having to know everything, that pressure of not failing is no longer there. And when I look at it as exploring and experimenting, it allows anything to happen. My thoughts create my reality. My thoughts create my reality. And this is a big one, because where your focus goes, that's what grows in your life. So if you're focused on everything that's not working in your life, the universe sends you more shit that isn't going to work. If you focus on what is working in your life and what you're grateful for, the universe sends you more things to like and be grateful for. And, you know, you hear that over and over and over again. Well, I'm living proof that it does. Your thoughts really do create your reality. Rewiring the programming. That's key. So along the way, to do and embrace these things, there are a lot of tools that I've used that I thought I'd take a little bit of time to share with you all. First of all, I had to have an open mind and an open heart in order for me to go and experience Reiki, because I had never heard of it before, you know, and when people were like, whoa, what's that? Remember, it was 12 years ago. Reiki wasn't a common term thrown around like it is now. So I had to have an open mind and have an open heart, because if you go for a session and you're not open to receive, then you walk out with exactly what you expected. The commitment I made to myself to sign up for weekly Reiki energy healing sessions was huge, because I committed to me. I committed to putting me first. We didn't really have the money for me to do that, but I found a way to make it work. We found a way to make it work. And through that work, I was exposed to the non-judgmental, introduced to the non-judgmental observation deck is what I call it, where I was encouraged to take inventory and collect data of my life. Just watch how you move through your day. How much are you doing in your day that's out of obligation versus heart-centered because you want to? You know, how are you feeling when you're doing these things? Really paying attention and being present. Because when you're present and doing that observation thing, you're just watching the autopilot and how it plays out, so that you can see what's happening and then make choices. Is this working for me? Is it not working for me? And if it's not working, what can I tweak to make it work? Or does it need to leave? Do I need to say goodbye to it? Catch and release. Catch and release was huge with my inner dialogue, because I had no idea how brutal I was. How I just beat myself up from the minute my eyes opened in the morning to the time they went closed at night. When I first started doing catch and release, and I say this all the time, I kid you not, it was anywhere from 200, 300, 400 times a day. I'd have to catch, you know, something as simple as, you're such a dumbass. I couldn't believe how many times I called myself a dumbass in a day. So those things, that catch and release process, yes, it can be exhausting in the beginning, but once it's rewired, those things don't come up. Every once in a while, it'll come out now, but it's not on a constant loop running in my head. And when it does come out, I actually laugh. And I'm like, we don't believe that anymore. And, you know, when you're working to rewire, affirmations, and make sure they're affirmations in the hello. I don't know what happened there, but okay. In the beginning, I wasn't comfortable, you know, stating affirmations of my own. So I would find what felt right to me, something that actually made me feel something. And I would take them and I'd write them out and I'd post them all over the place. Music was huge. Music was huge because I would drive to work, and I would, if I was in a bad space, raging, releasing anger, I would have music on that helped me do that. If I wanted to feel good and love and support, I would find music that supported that. I got certifications in multiple modalities and learning healthy boundaries. Huge, huge. Energetic hygiene, clearing everybody else's energy out of your field so that you know what's you and what's not you. People pleasers carry everybody else's shit. When you clear that everybody else's shit off your shoulders, you can now start to deal with what is yours. Learning to trust my intuition. My spiritual teachers in the beginning of my journey said, nobody knows better than you. Trust the voice inside of you. Trust what your body makes you feel. Trust what you hear. Trust what you see. Trust what you learn. Becoming a seeker of my own truth. I wanted to living versus existing. I went to healing circles and classes and learned about emotional intelligence. And Masterful You, Own Your Experience was really big for me. You know, it got to take all this information that I knew and help put it in a palatable form so that I could kind of really share the journey and be able to talk about what I had done throughout the years to help me heal and move through my traumas. So that leads right to, there is a poem that I found early on in my journey that is called, I believe it's called The Voice. I actually have it on my website. If we want to go to that next slide. There's a voice inside of you that whispers all day long. I feel that this is right for me. I know that this is wrong. No preacher, teacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide what's right for you. Just listen to the voice that speaks inside. And that's something that I would say over and over and over again to remind myself. And I started small. Like, you know, I'd open up my closet and say, what am I going to wear today? If I was driving, should I take a right or a left? If I went to a restaurant and, okay, what am I going to eat today? The first thing that lit up, I ate. So it's reestablishing that line of communication between you and your higher self. Start small. You don't need to do life-changing things right away. But the more you trust, the more confident you feel to start asking the bigger questions. So my mind works best with visual reminders. And I've talked to clients and people about posting things around the house. So I went around and took some pictures just to show you all. Unfortunately, if you're not seeing the visuals, but around my house, I have pictures. I have pillows. I have signs, constant reminders. You know, slow down and listen to the signs the universe are sending you. Slow down long enough to listen to your soul. Pause. I have a piece of artwork that was given to me by a friend. An explosion of joy is what it's named. Pillows that say blessed, signs that say love, reminders. Sometimes you forget you're awesome, and this is your reminder. You know, gifts from clients. I have a mug that says I'm a fucking ray of sunshine. Pillows that remind me to share my love. Signs, cards that my sister has given me with positive affirmations. I have gifts from clients of lighthouses. Lighthouses are my thing. You know, lighthouses don't run around islands looking for people to heal or save. They stand strong and shine. I have my punching bag. That's where I release all my rage. You know, so anything that helps support you and reminds you of what it is you're doing, the goals that you have, put it out. Let your eyes see it. Let your mind absorb it. Let those reminders be there. So for you to think that it's something that you just need to be able to pull out of your head and your ass at any point, no. Visual reminders are key. So whatever feels right for you, I highly recommend. So we need to wrap this up now. And as we do with every guest, if you would like to schedule an intuitive counseling energy session with me, I do remote and I do in person. You can check out my website at www.poweredbyyoursoul.com. You can email me at judyforder@comcast.net. You could call or text. I prefer texting, actually, at 443-528-4439. And Janice can't be with us today, but in the spirit of Janice, I will say this show is part of the Peaceful Empowerment Works nonprofit. We donate our time. So we still have expenses, though. So if you would like to donate $25, Janice will send you a t-shirt, you reach out to her at peacefulempowermentworks@gmail.com. A donation of $50 or more will get you a sweatshirt. So we want to thank you. I want to thank you for witnessing me moving through the fear of doing this show alone, proving to myself that I can do it, and I am now accepting what is. Thank you for choosing to be here now with me. And please always remember, you are never alone, and never forget that you are awesome. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.